All right, let's dive in with Tyler Sullivan and Rick Spielman here. It's been an exciting 1 p.m. slate here. Get things going, gentlemen. Let's start right there with that Ravens game that came down to the final swing of the leg. Tyler, I'll go your way here first because the Ravens get the result they need, but a lot does need to be explored, specifically here the health of one Lamar Jackson. We only know what we know, and that's he was ruled out with a knee injury after nursing a quad all week. Moving forward, for whether it be short-term or long-term without Lamar, what does this season look like for these Ravens, Tyler?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It all hangs in the balance with Lamar Jackson, whether or not he is able to play next week when they travel to Pittsburgh, or if it's a little bit down the line and they choose to rest him as they go down the stretch run here. They do have a little bit of a cushion here. It's moving, improving their record on the season to 7-4. But ultimately, this team kind of feels like they're stumbling down the stretch a little bit. I remember talking about them a few weeks ago, saying that they have a chance to have the number 1 seed. You looked at their remaining schedule. It was the easiest at the time in the NFL. It includes games like this against a Denver Broncos team that can only manage 9 points in a single game. And so the situation was there for them to go on a little bit of a run. But as it's been the case over the last few years with this team, injuries have gotten in the way, whether it's J.K. Dobbins, what's gone on last year in their backfield and in their secondary, and now the most important player to this franchise, Lamar Jackson. We don't know what his availability is going to be going forward here. Obviously wasn't able to play the remainder of that game due to the knee injury. It's important because the Cincinnati Bengals are breathing down their throat. They're playing against Kansas City this week, but they are a team that's getting healthier. They are fully loaded. So right now, if Lamar Jackson isn't able to play over these next few weeks and it's Tyler Huntley, that doesn't spell particularly great news for them going forward in their playoff hopes.
As you assess it, Rick, is Tyler Huntley a stopgap here that can keep the Ravens relevant here? Because they do have plenty to play for. We'll get to that here in a moment. But as you assess the quarterback room there, the drop-off from Lamar to Tyler Huntley is something we've talked about in the past. How do you feel right now about the Ravens' chances with Lamar up in the air?
Yeah, Huntley came in and did an excellent job last year when he had to fill in for Lamar and kept them afloat through Lamar when he missed all those games. And in fact, I think I remember Harbaugh saying that he is good enough to be a starter in this league. Now, is he a guy that you can put the whole team on your back and go out and win games? They still have to play good defense. They still have to be able to run the ball. But he can go out and manage a game, and he has enough athletic and mobility skills to make the Ravens competitive as they go down. But in my opinion, the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be right on their heels, and they're playing better football than Baltimore is right now.
Yeah, this was a key result, regardless of what Lamar's status is moving forward here for Baltimore. And we talk about these coachisms sometimes at this point of the year, the what's your why of it all. And it seems like Baltimore, I mean, stop me if I'm wrong here, Rick, but they're a team with everything to play for and still trying to define that why. Do you see a lack of motivation, specifically early on in this game between these two? Because this is a Denver team that they are far and beyond better than at this point of the season.
Yeah, no, they are, but Denver has struggled offensively, but defensively they've played pretty good, and Denver's defense have kept them in the games every game this year. So they were playing against a very good defense today. They just played against a horrible offense. What's going to happen, though, if they get in a game situation like this, playing against a good defense, but also playing against an explosive offense, and that's where I think they can get exposed.
Yeah, no, that's the big question, right? I mean, they have these next few weeks here, a lot of division opponents, teams that have very good defenses, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati. Even Atlanta keeps these games always, it feels like, tight and close, and they run and ground and pound. So they're going to need to bring their A game. This is going to be a big week or big, stretch run here for Harbaugh if there is going to be a scenario where Lamar Jackson misses time or misses at least a few games here down the stretch. To me, it's all going to come down to whether this team can weather that storm, because you never know. If all of a sudden they start to stumble, I'm looking at a game in Week 18 in Cincinnati that could determine the AFC North. And like Rick was saying, the Cincinnati Bengals feel like they're playing better football right now. And if all of a sudden Lamar Jackson is forced to be sidelined here and you are dropping a few of these games to division opponents, that's going to start opening the door here for Cincinnati. It's going to make that Week 18 game maybe the division winner of the whole thing.
It's starting to get very, very interesting as we take a look at the fantasy performers coming out of a 10-9 ball game. Is never going to be anything that blows you away. Tyler Huntley not likely to be in any starting lineups, as he wasn't even in Baltimore's starting lineup at the start of the day. 15 fantasy points. Russell Wilson, his requisite 9, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Really no nothing. Mark Andrews, you want more than 9 as always, but Andrews targeted 7 times, 4 grabs for 53. Greg Dulcich early on got you a couple big grabs that netted 14 fantasy points.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.